the word Kathak means the one who's telling a story. Katha. Katha kahe, so Kathak. Kathak kahlave. I have hit up to 51 chakras. We can replace the Carnatic syllables such as tarikitatom with tigdarik digthe, tigdarik digthe, tigdarik digthe. The only boss is audience. If audience love it, you have done the job. Technical rehearsals involving the lighting, person, sound person, if there are props, God help us. A true measurement of a teacher is when her student becomes better than her. Very few get to follow their true passion. So during COVID is when actually Joann's Performing Arts Company took birth.
Welcome to Mic Drop. Today we are joined by Joann, the founder of Joann's Performing Arts Company and a proficient and expert Kathak dancer. Today's episode we're gonna dwell deep into Kathak, the artistry and beauty of Kathak. Let's welcome Joann to the show. Hi Joann, welcome to Mic Drop.
Thank you so much, Megha.
It's always catching you up over calls.
That is true.
I'm very happy to meet you directly.
Yes, very happy to meet you too, and love the work you're doing. And keep up the lovely work. I mean, it's really giving a lot of hope and direction to a lot of people, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Joann, I wanted to ask you one interesting question. When we were discussing, I heard your students calling you rockstar. So I want to start from there.
That is true.
Yes.
Mainly because my forte right now is, yes, I'm teaching Kathak in our dance school. And but on the side, there is also one more secret side of me, that I am a Western vocalist and a Western keyboardist. Okay. So with that, we perform in the city with our band called Present Tense. And because I sing a lot of rock, soft rock and pop and all that, so the students call me their rockstar teacher. Yeah. It's completely contradictory, Kathak and Western music. But then it really has helped me understand the basis of rhythm and also have an open mind to mingle arts with one another. Yes.
When there were so many dance forms, why did you choose Kathak?
Yeah.
And how did this journey start?
This journey for me started as a very, very small child. I should give due credit to my mother. She was the one who kind of encouraged me to pursue anything I wanted. Okay. So had I told her I want to do anything, even if it was contemporary or Bollywood, I'm sure she would have encouraged me. But at that time, because I was born and brought up in the Gulf, in Kuwait, there the access to Indian forms were very less. So though we Indians were plenty, but access to good art teachers in the form of Indian dance was less. And the nearest we found was actually a Bharatanatyam teacher. Okay. So my journey with dance started with Bharatanatyam. Okay. And because it was what was available, and I was in the country where other forms were difficult to find. So I did pursue Bharatanatyam for a long time, as far as I remember, as a very small child, maybe of 7 years old, all the way till I was 9, 10. Like you had just said, you know, when you pursue something, your heart kind of lies there. Correct. Whether you are practicing it or not. Yes, your soul somehow attaches itself. And that was what started my dance journey. But then when I could take a decision to make choices, by the time I was back in India, and I could make those choices, and I switched to Kathak. Okay. Much because it was a more graceful form of art. And I loved the fact that you could just fly with your chakras or pirouettes. And for me, that was like setting somebody free. So I wanted that, and then I looked at the costumes, they're twirling, and when I saw it, in the first shot itself, I fell in love with the dance form, and I said, this is what I want to actually learn. And I switched over to Kathak somewhere around the age of 12 and 13. Okay. And from there on, it's been the longest and ever eternal journey of learning. Yes.
You were telling about chakras. What was the highest spins that you have done?
Personally, me, in my prime, though people don't tell that I look my age, but in my prime, I have hit up to 51 chakras at the
At a
max.
shot.
At a shot,
Oh
yes.
my God. Okay.
And that is not much. You can go over 100, you can hit more than that. But my principle is, if you're taking chakras, let all of them be correct. Not, by the time you come and you're dehydrated or you're drained and you're all wobbly and you're going all over the place. See, accomplishing a number is not the great deal. You accomplish it correctly. So if I'm saying 51, then your 48th or 50th one should be with the same poise and perfection as your first chakra. So it is not about accomplishing a great number, but in being stable, in maintaining your precision and rhythm. Eventually, you're dancing to entertain an audience. They should not find you clumsy. They should find you graceful. So to each their own capacity. I also don't encourage or push my students to achieve great numbers. I say achieve it correctly. By the end of it, you must stand balanced. You must be in your form, not toppling over. It shouldn't look like, oh, see her, she's not able to take care of herself or balance herself. So maintain your grace is what I advise. So yes, the maximum I have taken is 51. Regardless, my students do much more than that right now. So I'm very proud of them. They say a true measurement of a teacher is when her student becomes better than her.
Yes. That is always a proud moment for a teacher.
So that is very special for me, that they are trained better to do better things, greater things in the future. Our future generation of classical dancers are going to be amazing. That much I can tell you with confidence.
They are definitely carrying the culture.
They are.
And they respect the same.
Yes, they earn respect for their own Indian culture and the form, and in return they also fall in love with their value systems that is given to them. So Guru plays a very important role here, and they play a role that parents can't.
Correct.
So they say, Mata Pita Guru Devam.
Correct.
So I think there is a role, and our Indian system is slowly, because of the revolution and the hype of technology and the changes, there is a sort of distance slowly forming from
there's a gap which
Guru.
Is slowly.
So involvement of a Guru is lesser, I should say. Before there was one Guru teaching all subjects. Correct. Basically, whatever the Guru learned, they would transfer to the student. Correct. Now, the poor children, every 40 minutes, they are seeing a new teacher enter the class. Every year, their teacher is changing. So, I think the classical arts is the only forum right now where, and of course, the spiritual forums, where you can find a Guru. So, the responsibility of being a correct Guru, as much as possible, doing the right thing. After all, end of the day, even Gurus are humans. But to try your best to do the right thing is of prime importance in today's time in India. I think so. So it's a blessing. It's a big honor to get this kind of responsibility. But like I said, it is a true responsibility. And it keeps me in check most of the time. Most of the time, I think more than mentoring anybody, I feel it's a learning for me.
Correct.
So, yes.
How is your bond with your students?
Oh, my bond with my students.
Because it is always tell when the students are very open and friendly with their teacher, the quantity or the quality that they learn impacts.
100%. 100%. If you don't have a good relationship with each other, there is it's a channel, right? It's a channel of knowledge that is flowing. And
basically, it might be dance as a form, but you're teaching it with the energy. Your energy transfers to the students.
You're absolutely right, Megha. There's a energy transfer, knowledge transfer. There's a transfer. And for this transfer to happen, the channel has to be clear.
Yes.
Okay, you can't have hurdles in between or blocks in between. You cannot have stones, rocks. It's a dam, right? That has to be always open. You cannot have any kind of a blockage. And that relationship proves that if your relationship with your student is clean, is clear, is positive, is clearly for their well-being
And growth.
and you have no other intention, pure intention to teach, then the knowledge transfers beautifully. So my relationship with my students, I don't know what to say. They are everything to me. Family, friends. I have formed so many bonds within this circle and the extended circle. When I say extended circle, my students, if they are a child, there is an extended bond with their parents. If the student is an adult, there's an extended bond with their spouse and children. The entire family is involved. So, talking about with you before about the COVID time, when we used to take when I used to take classes, somehow the entire family will be walking past.
Sometimes because every time that can't be avoided.
You can't. And we accepted that because we entered somebody's house. So natural bonds started forming, and they also got to see that they can also see the genuinity or what I am. How much can you hide, right? So the true self will come out. And therefore the bond, it's such a beautiful bond. We are a lovely extended family. I think today if we want some help, it is all about just shooting out a message on the group. 100% there are doctors, lawyers, everyone are there inside the forum, or at least they know the best someone. So we've become an inclusive community now of about 150 students and their extended families. So it feels easy to live a confident life when you are a part of a close-knit community, and it gives you the strength to go on because you know that there are people who will come to your help whenever you need it. Yes.
Since we talked about COVID now, how did COVID change your life? Because some had positive turning points, some had negative.
That is true.
How was COVID for you?
COVID, of course, we all suffered some impact or the other. Mostly the impact of the fear. There was immense fear of the unknown, and a lot of things got thrown out of balance, right? Especially in terms of financials. Many people lost their jobs, and I can't even replace the fact that how many people lost loved ones. And the fear thereof of whether things will go back to normal hit all of us. And the insecurity of how long will it go on and will we be able to sustain. So with due respect to each one who suffered, including a large circle of whom I knew, but there was a lot of magic that happened during COVID. A lot of people stood up, rose up to the occasion. And I'm really blessed to say that, I had an opportunity to be one of them. So during COVID is when actually Joann's Performing Arts Company took birth. Before that, I was teaching in other dance schools with the knowledge of Kathak that I had. And mainly because I could not afford to take up a space and have a dance studio that I could own for my own self. I was mostly with other institutions who were running parallelly so many classes, art classes, music, dance, different dance forms. Kathak was my contribution there. But COVID time, since everything shut down and none of us could go about doing what we could do best, that was when a lot of my students and parents encouraged me to go online. Before that, art as a classical dance form was never taught online proficiently. It was always go to a space, you learn live from a teacher and you take it back home. This was the first time everybody had to figure out how to work this out. There was no training for this. We were just put into the situation with all the research that was possible at that time, and with the limited knowledge we had of gadget operations, we started classes online, Kathak classes online. Within a little while, I began to see that it became the lifeline for all these students. It became their outlet to the outside world. Everyone were contained in the house. You don't get to see anybody. Children were learning school also online. Parents are stuck at home. Until the work from home really started picking up, everyone were stuck.
Yes.
And the only window of hope became these students' dance classes. Along with becoming the students' dance classes, parents also and family members started looking forward to seeing their loved ones dancing in home and dancing at home and performing. So that set a platform for me to explore the online version of teaching, though many others like me did as well. For me, this became my personal offshoot into the classical world on my own. I opened batches. We started propagating about these classes. First, we thought only 3 months, 6 months, but it went on and on and on.
Yes.
And the number grew. We started from a small figure of about 20 odd students. By the time COVID was passing us by, the first wave at least went by, I was already doubled in students. When the COVID passed us by, then parents started saying, you need to come back to Banaswadi and start teaching, because where I used to teach was in and around Banaswadi. So the students also were relatively from the same area. And the parents encouraged me to open a dance studio, and even to an extent, they helped me
to open
find it, set it up and everything. And that's how our existing studio in Banaswadi started. Year 1 passed, year 2, year 3. Today it's a different story to tell. So many of us now learning Kathak from varied age groups, right from as young as 4 years old to even 60 plus. So now this has become my full-time. I'm literally pushed into it, and there is nowhere I can go now.
Following your passion with lots of love and
yes. Very few get that opportunity. Really, I'm telling you, I meet all of these students or their parents or their family, and very few are doing what they love. They are doing it either out of expectation or financial stability. Very few get to follow their true passion. And I really feel really blessed that it has happened to us and to me. I never knew this would be the way. I wish I knew. I would have paid more attention in Kathak class.
In your Kathak class?
I didn't, because I never thought I will become a full-time Kathak teacher.
Sometimes unplanned things work.
Yes, and it does. Yes, it surely does. Yeah, when we plan too much, we set an expectation.
Yes.
And when it comes to us, just like that, go with the flow. Sometimes it is for your highest good, And we cannot see the future, what lies before us.
Yes.
So learning to accept it when it comes graciously. I think dance has taught me that also. Yes.
And when it comes to dance form Kathak, it's mainly concerned and concentrated on footwork.
That is true.
So Kathak has the best footwork ever, as per my knowledge.
That is true.
So how do you manage teaching that to small kids?
Actually, it's the small kids that learn it more faster.
Okay.
Yeah, compared to adults. Only because they have no reservations.
Okay.
They don't even know whether they can or they cannot, the children. But adults come with these preconceived reservations of whether I can
do it or I can't do it.
I can't. Maybe and they also have this major insecurity of, am I looking okay? Maybe I'm not looking okay. So many people come with different kind of body types to me. So they have this preconceived judgment that it won't suit my body, discomfort. You can see it. But children, they are so plain, so straightforward. They have no insecurities at all.
Okay.
So whatever you give them, as long as it is packaged a little properly and beautifully, presentable to them according to their level, they gobble it all up.
Okay.
And they do magic on stage. But with adults, it is a process. I have to empower them. I have to encourage them, break stereotypes, break their own, conceptions about themselves. And it is like peeling an onion, one layer at a time, till finally, suddenly you see that, they have broken their shackles and they're free. That usually happens after their first stage performance. Once they go on stage and they see the audience giving them
I think that is the magic of stage.
that is the magic
for a
of
performer.
100%.
Yeah.
Once you're on stage, you're exposed. And once you see that the audience has given you that applause,
Correct.
that standing ovation, then your confidence level booms.
Yes.
Now, I was blessed as a child. I told you I had the best mom. She would put me on stage every opportunity she got. So I got that feeling of confidence much early in life. And now I'm just teaching that to others who come across. I truly believe that everything that happens in your life prepares you for something. So, though I didn't know then that this is what I'd be doing, today I can see the big picture. And I'm like, oh my God, every one of those moments was preparing me to prepare many more like that.
Correct.
Yes.
On stage, like after stage performances, that you told, right, about getting applauses from audience, gaining confidence. That is one part of boosting confidence in a dancer or a performer. But before stage is very important part.
That is true.
Right? The rehearsal, the preparation, selection of the song, costumes, makeup, so many things.
Yes.
How do you manage all this?
In today's age, if you are a classical performer or running an institution like ours, it's very funny that apart from the knowledge of the form, you have to know everything else. I'm sure that you are also targeted with the same issue, that apart from being the interviewer, you'll have to know camera techniques, you'll have to know about light, you'll have to know about angles,
many things,
everything, editing, pre-editing, post-editing, everything. So as a person who's running this right now, that burden lies on me, that I have to know everything. You have to know to make your own videos, you have to know to edit them, capture them, everything, choreograph them.
Choreographies, I get.
Like you said, look into the music aspect of it and everything. So again, I should say, thanks to the desperate situation of COVID, we were forced to learn it all. When it comes to time on stage, I think that moment on stage, Megha, is the shortest moment.
Yes.
It comes and goes so fast. Almost all my students, when a show is over, they'll come and say, "Ma'am, it's over." And I'll say, "Yes, it is over. What did you expect?" They're like, "No,
we
it went
prepared
so fast,
much, and on stage it just went.
It just passed us by." I said, "Yes." So why that happens is because the number of hours it takes to prepare is so high in comparison to the time on stage. Actually, I like to say that for every minute on stage, it will take you 10 hours of rigorous practice.
Yes.
Not planning, not choreography, just practice. So planning and choreography are an investment of another furthermore hours, which is never enough. If you're a perfectionist like me, then that is never enough, because you'll always find something more innovative, something better, a better way. So you'll keep looking, okay, this can get better. So the planning stages, I don't know, it's unlimited number of hours. Choreography stages, it's an exploration, it's an adventure. You have to dive in and see what you get. Rehearsal, yes, it is for every minute, I think 10 to 15 hours for every minute of performance. So we do our annual productions every year, which is a format of about an hour. It's a theme-based production. It will have a storyline, it will have a running thought and a message also in the end. So for a 1 hour production, we, leaving choreography and planning, which happens during class hours, we rehearse for the entire month. And that amounts to almost 60 hours of rehearsals for a total of 100 of us to get on stage. Planning when you enter, when you exit, which is your sound cue. This is just us. Then leaving that, the technical rehearsals involving the light person, sound person, if there are props, God help us. If there are costume changes, I don't know what to do. Like that. So it does take a long hours of practice. That is why in classical arts we call it sadhana. It's a meditation in itself, where you dwell into your own self and you find yourself in all the chaos.
Yes.
And then when you have found yourself, you go on stage. So until that moment of self exploration and discovery, you cannot go on stage and do the good work. You can do, but then to
not
do
that
exemplary
excellent
work,
Yes.
you need to present yourself like that. So it is a meditation. I think those days our gurus knew that. So they would meditate upon their form for hours before they would even present it to us. And I don't know what all they had to do when they were taught by their gurus. Yeah.
Being a dancer, I can feel when you put that makeup on,
Yes.
you get that energy.
Of course.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
When you're putting your costume on, you feel, okay, you get that sense of responsibility to go perform to your fullest, right?
Of course. It transforms you.
Yeah.
It's like wearing another layer of skin.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And
just talking about, I'm just getting goosebumps all over my body.
It is. I always tell our costume makers, we design it, but then eventually, of course, we hire help to get it made. I very clearly inform them that, this is their skin. You're making their outer skin. And one thing that has worked for me is whenever we plan our costume and thing, I allow that also to undergo a rehearsal process. Yeah.
That's very important.
Very important. So students rehearse how to do their own makeup. We do not hire makeup artists. We do our own makeup. We do our own hair. Our best makeup artists are teenagers. They will do their makeup and they will do others' makeup also. Yes. It is required for stage, though people may contradict and say, children, why you're telling them? A part of learning classical dance form, as mentioned in the Natya Shastra, is adorning yourself, beautifying yourself. Come on, even our gods and goddesses have adorned themselves. Okay, so as a dancer, it is but necessary to do this so as to give the audience an experience they can never forget. Yeah.
And I'd seen a couple of your performances online. You always do a fusion with Kannada melody songs.
Something.
Yeah, I like that so much. Yeah. So how do you choreograph it? Because Kathak and Kannada melody song, it's very difficult to get that rhythm properly synced to your particular steps.
Very true.
Yeah.
Everything finally, whether music or dance, whether the dance is Kathak or not, whether the music is classical or not, are all based on rhythm. Tala.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So I don't pay too much attention to the words of the song. Of course, we need the words to portray the meaning through dance. But I will tap into the rhythm of the song. And there also rhythm is there. Here also rhythm is there. I'll just meet them together. That's it. Okay. So it's like a sammelana of the rhythm, the tala of the song with the footwork of Kathak or the body movements of Kathak. And a beautiful union happens and there's a certain amount of synchronicity. Then I will dive into the mood of the song. Okay, now let us see what is the mood. It's a love song or it's a separation song. What song? Depends. Usually I do these kind of Kannada based choreographies with Kathak when especially we perform for artists. Like when Shreya Ghoshal came, we did Neena Dena. So because we have to perform to her original tracks. That time my way of working is the only boss is audience. If audience love it, you have done the job. Audience is God, is king for us. So I do not plan a choreography pertaining only to what I want. I never actually look at what I want. I will always think, what does the audience want to see? What do they want? They are the ones being entertained and we are the entertainers. What can we present to them that they will say,
it's terribly good.
Yeah, heart is content. Wow, it was beautiful. So when I think of that, I really keep in mind our Kannada audience. After all, we're all from the same state. And I love to give that treat to them that Kannada ಹಾಡ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು dance ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. So we did Neena Dena, we did Bombe Helutaite. Come on, who's not going to love that? And for Shankar Ehsaan Loy, we did his famous Gananayakaya Ganadevataya. So song music is, of course, it makes dance beautiful. but you can dance to any music.
Yeah.
If you visit our channel, we have danced to anything.
Yes,
We have danced to
I've seen
Believer,
that.
we've danced to Michael Jackson.
Mhm.
Of course, the pure Kathak and classical artists may not like that aspect of it. So, of course, we do our pure Kathak, but then keeping the newer generation in
It's
mind.
a blended fusion.
It is a blend. So, we can't call it, the choreography will be pure Kathak, but we are changing the music a little to make it relatable to the current audience. That's all, to keep the art alive. The true intention is to keep the art alive.
So, how was your feeling when you and your team got an opportunity to perform in front of dignitaries? Usha Uttappa,
Yes.
Shankar Mahadevan, Shreya
Yes.
Ghoshal.
Yes. It was surreal.
Yeah.
I should say that all gratitude goes to the wonderful friends we have made in the industry. A lot of goodwill floating around. A lot of people have a certain amount of confidence in the work that we do. So these are mere opportunities as a result of those goodwill and relationships we have fostered in the industry. So whether it is radio or newspaper or brands, like of late for our latest production, Ekam, we were associated with C. Krishnaya Chetty. So the confidence that they have in us is what is bringing these opportunities. Nevertheless, it's never easy to perform in front of dignitaries. As much as I have no stage fright, I still get butterflies because we idolize them so much.
Yes.
We look up to them so much. So it was true honor, and to perform to their own numbers, their own songs, and to be accepted well by them. It's amazing. And these opportunities are a blessing for us. I'm very happy for all my students who come forward and take part when I call them that, this is something coming up, we need to do this. And they come willingly forward. I love that they receive these opportunities. It fulfills the purpose of learning an art form.
So, when we are discussing about all the forms, costume, postures, I had a small question. What is the concept of sum? And can you show us few postures in Kathak?
Of course. Sum is at the center of all classical arts in our country, in India. Whether it is southern, which is Carnatic, or it is northern, which is Hindustani. Sum is the concept of completing the cycle of a tal cycle, tala. For example, if you're taking a 16 beat cycle, then it is a 16 completion or its multiples, 32 plus 1.
Okay.
So coming back from where you began, I love when I'm teaching my students to attach the concepts of dance to life itself, dance and music to life. So think about it. We all go back to where we begin from. Okay, whether we say life and death, birth and the process of living. You always complete a cycle. The entire world is working like that. The universe is like that. We women follow moon cycles, like for our own organs to function. So this completion of a cycle is what signifies where it ended, is sum. So going from one, starting from one, which is sum, and coming back to one, which is sum. All classical forms follow this because of the system of the tal system. So, for example, if we are taking a 4-beat cycle, 4 is a lesser number for tala, but just as an example, or multiples of 4, then say in Bharatanatyam it will be 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Coming back to 1. This 1 is your sum. So, if you had to put sound syllables over it, it would be tarikitatom, tarikitatom, tarikitatom. So, landing there. So, you go all over wherever you want to go, ultimately go back home. You left home, you go back home. That is the concept of sum or sama in Carnatic, they will call it. And all classical forms have its own unique ways of expressing it through a static stance. Like, for example, in Bharatanatyam, it might be like that, just one posture, or like that, or like that. So classical dance forms like Bharatanatyam, like this, Kuchipudi will have its own, Odissi has its Tribhanga postures, where the isolation of the torso and the hip happens, each unique. Kathak, because of our stance is very upright, very straight, like a regular way of standing. All our postures are very tandav, or very straight in terms of its lines. So some of the ways of achieving some just with my upper body in Kathak would be a stylized way of standing in order to get, I think Kathak photography is very interesting because every single time we will get into the static posture, giving the photographer enough time to take photographs. So beautiful pictures. Yeah. So most of them are very accentuating of your body. For example, there is some like that, or the same hand, some, or some, or some, dha. Okay, we call it dha, or the same hand, dha, or dha. So even here, dha, or dha. So much. There is innumerable ways of doing that. But say whatever we do, example, we are dancing, we're moving, and dha, some. So we can replace the Carnatic syllables such as tarikitatom with tigdarik dik the, tigdarik dik the, tigdarik dik the. So it can be tigdarik dik the, tigdarik dik the, tigdarik dik the, over, some. So it's just going and saying, I reached the last point. I've come back home. I started from home. I reached back home. That is the concept of some, and I hope you enjoyed some of the postures. Yes,
beautifully and very expressive. I would like to tell you that.
Thank you so much.
Very expressive.
Kathak itself, the word Kathak means the one who's telling a story. Katha. Katha kahe, so Kathak. Kathak kahlave. So the one who tells a story is a Kathak. So story, the main part is the face only. Yes. So the expressional part of it is something that is so unique to our country. I'm very proud to be taken birth in this country and to learn a form like this, and then even more giving an opportunity to teach. Yes.
And in your journey of so many years of teaching and then opening your own dance studio, what was that one moment? That's a mic drop moment, I would like to call, which made you very happy and gave you that highest level of satisfaction.
Oh my God. I should say many such moments keep happening. I always think this is that moment, but then another moment comes along quite soon. And then I say, no, this is that moment. And then in a little more while, something better happens. Must say that we are blessed. I should say the first time I opened the studio, it was again, we opened it and within 1 month we had to put the shutter down because the second wave opened of COVID. But when I opened that studio and I was making it, creating that space, putting those mirrors, fixing those, getting those lights fixed, that was a very special moment. I never ever saw it coming. So it was pretty startling for me. Like I was not ready for it. I was like, am I prepared enough? But then that was one of my moments. I did not know that very soon I will start having so many more moments. Now, whenever a student comes to me and tells me something very close to their heart, like my life is changed because I am dancing, because I'm learning Kathak, or when they leave some message in my inbox that you have transformed my life and I'm a happier person. I think all those moments become mic drop moments for me, because every time I see something like that, I don't know why, I get that current running through my body, and I'm like, I'm never ever getting used to it. So it's like, okay, by now I should be used to it, but I'm not. And every time I see them perform and the audience claps, that sound, it's like, this is what I'm living for. So those are the moments, and I'm fortunate I get it very often, on and off. So one is bigger than the other.
Correct. Yes. Thank you so much, Joann.
Thank you, Megha.
So I really would like to take this opportunity, being a dancer, getting in association with another dancer. I feel so happy.
Yes, it's always a joy to meet another like-minded person.
Yes. Thank you so much for gracing my show.
Thank you too, and continue the lovely work you're doing, empowering so many people through these testimonies.
So we have a small, beautiful token of gratitude from my art partner Doodle Alley, and this is you.
Oh, so sweet. Is it handmade?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god.
It's a digital art.
This is so beautiful. It's really beautiful. I've never had someone do something for me like this. Oh my god. I can't even believe it's me.
Yeah, it's you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doodle Alley, and for all the love and all the appreciation. Thank you so much. We hope to entertain you more and more.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Megha.
A person perceiving art with passion will take them to the next level. Joann is one of the examples for that. Signing off from Mic Drop with Joann. For more unscripted, unfiltered and unmissable conversation, subscribe to hamsatv channel. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Namaste.